Hey friends, I'm Captain Shell, and welcome to Rainbow Icons of History, where we tell the true stories of incredible people who helped change the world and who just happen to be part of the rainbow, like me. But before we dive in, you might be wondering, why am I lying on my stomach on a giant squishy squirrel? Well, one of the great things about Mosaic, the church here, is that it's a place where you get to show up as yourself. And me being myself, it usually doesn't look like sitting in a chair or standing in front of a big group. I actually feel most like myself when I'm comfy and cozy on the floor. Maybe in a weird position, maybe hugging a giant squirrel. So that's where I'll be for these videos, being myself. And I hope you'll be yourself too. So today we are heading to England to meet someone who saw the world in a really unique way. She wrote books, asked big questions, and loved deeply, even when it wasn't easy. Her name? Virginia Woolf. So Virginia was born in 1882 in London, and her house was full of books. Like, imagine growing up in a mini library. Her parents were writers and thinkers, and Virginia loved reading so much that she actually started writing her own stories as a kid. But, and this part is important, back then, girls weren't usually allowed to go to the same schools as boys, so Virginia taught herself. She read everything she could get her hands on and thought really deeply about the world around her. She also went through some really hard times, sadness, illness, and loss. But writing was her way to cope. It helped her make sense of the emotions swirling inside. When she grew up, Virginia became a famous writer. She had really, really creative, mind-expanding stuff. She didn't just tell what people were doing in her books, she actually showed you what they were thinking and feeling in their hearts. She was one of the first authors to write in a style called stream of consciousness, which kind of feels like reading someone's thoughts out loud. She wrote books like Mrs. Dalloway and To the Lighthouse, and people still read them to this day. But she didn't do it alone. She actually was part of a group called the Bloomsbury Group. They were artists and writers and thinkers who didn't follow all of the usual rules. They believed in being honest and bold and true to themselves. Now, here's something really special. Virginia was married to a man named Leonard Woolf, and they cared about each other a lot. But Virginia also fell in love with a woman named Vida Sackville West. Vida was a writer too, and they wrote each other beautiful letters. Some of them were super romantic. Virginia even wrote a whole book inspired by her called Orlando. It's about a character who changes from a male to a female and lives for hundreds of years. Pretty wild, right? It was Virginia's way of saying, hey, love and identity can be fluid. They don't always fit in a box. Today, we'd say Virginia was queer. She didn't live by society's rules about who you're supposed to love and how you're supposed to be. And that takes courage. Virginia helped people understand that the inside stuff, feelings, thoughts, dreams matter just as much as what we see on the outside. She used her writing to make space for big emotions and deep questions, and she reminded us that being different doesn't mean being broken. She also showed us that women and queer people have important things to say, even in times when the world tried to silence them. So today we got to know Virginia Woolf, a writer, thinker, and rainbow icon who taught us to feel deeply, love honestly, and speak truth. Now, I've got a question for you. If you could write a book about anything, what would it be? Maybe it's a topic a lot of people don't know much about, something important, interesting, or just plain fun. Drop your ideas in the comments. I'd love to read them. And if you liked learning about Virginia, give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so that way you don't miss out on our next Rainbow Icon of History. See you next time.